You know, Pontiac was an industrial town, and as such, you know, they had maybe 6, 7 plants with people working 2 and 3 shifts every day. You know, I remember stepping on buses when I was out of town and looking down at the bottom and seeing the plate said "Made in Pontiac, Michigan." It gave me so much pride. You know, I could be anywhere in the country and "Made in Pontiac, Michigan," and get on that bus. So, you know, it was an industrial town, and we made things, and all that went away.
So when I watched Resilience, I brought my daughter and my husband, and you know, at first I didn't know what to expect. It just brought me to a time when, before I had my daughter, I thought like I was gonna raise my kids, whoever they were, you know, to be raised just like me. The movie made me start thinking about how we raise our kids. I found myself yelling at my child. I was trying to cook, and she was standing there screaming at me, and I had done everything I could for her. She needed a nap, and I couldn't get her to go to sleep, and I screamed at her once, and it sounded like my mother. And I had to take a step back. Sorry. I had to take a step back to realize, like, I don't want to be my mother.
When I was introduced to the adverse childhood experience information, I found it necessary to have that screening here because I believe that all of us have a responsibility to reach out to those, to provide them the information, to try to address this very, very important issue. When I look at that situation and specifically the problems of or lack of proficiency that many of our students are experiencing in school, the movie helped me to see that this toxic stress, these adversities may be at the very root of why our children are going through the things that they're going through.
I work with a lot of clients that sometimes I don't understand the depth of trauma, the depth of experiences that they may go through, but to see that the film brought hope and getting to where you want to be, it gave me a lot of promise for what I do for clients.
I knew my students were affected by different things that were happening in their lives, but I think the movie brought it home to me. It made me really see the importance of doing more for them. I began in 1985 when my own son got into trouble, and I felt the pain, the grief of my son being taken away from me. I made an affirmation that I did not want a mother to suffer like I had suffered, even though I figured I had done everything that I could to help my son. And so I started a program feeding the athletes at then Pontiac Northern High School. I gave them a pre-game meal, but I didn't just feed them food. I also got involved with them with their ACT tests, made sure that they took it often enough. I paid for it out of my pocket so that they would be successful. I have to tell you that some I won, some I lost. Some went on to do great things with their lives, and some of them made same mistakes that my son did.
Then you had tax rolls that had all those plants working. You know, you could afford to have your own parks and recreation program in these activities. So how do we create these opportunities for well-meaning adults to be in touch with individual lives of young people to supplement, complement what goes on in their own homes? And that's a very essential part of the stability of community in terms of making resilient children. You got to remember where you came from in order to get to where you got to go. Growth is inevitable. Pontiac's bones are too strong for it not to grow.